It has come out that Howard Stern had a cancer scare. So I'm reading this report from the Hollywood Reporter. Quote, all I'm thinking is I'm going to die. Howard Stern reveals cancer scare, Trump regrets, and details of dishy new book. And there's Stern by Lacey Rose. After a health crisis that had him scared S-less, the $90 million a year radio legend opens up about retirement. The one time he lied to his listeners and his metamorphosis from shock jock to insightful interviewer. Oh my God. I'd feel really effing idiot if I hadn't evolved. I hate that word. I needed to evolve. Would ya? You know, it feels shitty that you did evolve. All of your listeners, stupid. Just hang it up. On Wednesday, May 10th, 2017, for the first time in memory, Howard Stern abruptly canceled that day's show. His listeners, a famously loyal subset of SiriusXM's 36 million subscribers, who've made Stern a part of their lives since he rose to prominence in the 80s as radio boundary-pushing shock jock, were understandably alarmed. Reddit lit up with crackpot theories, and a handful of dogged reporters tracked down the host's elderly parents to check up on him. By Monday, the self-described king of all media was back on air, poking fun at the hullabaloo. As many hoped he would, it was just a flu, he told his audience. Why is it such a big deal that I took a fucking day off? I like how they blocked the F word and stuff earlier in this article, like literally a paragraph ago, but now they're just saying it in the next paragraph. What? Turns out he was lying through his teeth. Yeah, we're used to that with Stern. On the morning in question, Stern wasn't home with a fever or runny nose. He was being carted into surgery. For the better part of the previous year, he'd been shuttling between appointments as doctors monitored a low white blood cell count revealed during a routine checkup and later discovered a growth on his kidney. The chance that it was cancerous, 90%. For a man who lives his life on air, divulging such personal details as his first wife's miscarriage and his reputedly undersized penis, he'd been uncharacteristically discreet about his latest struggle. In fact, he told only his very inner circle, a group that included his second wife, Beth, his 3 daughters, his therapist, and his on-air foil of nearly 4 decades, Robin Quivers, herself a cancer survivor. Until all this, Stern had considered himself invincible. At 65, his 6'5" frame was still inevitably trim. His head endowed with a thick mop of curls. He ate well and exercised often. Cancer was a ridiculous notion. Well, if there's something else he's lying about, lady, that mop of curls on his head. And now, all I'm thinking is I'm going to die, he recalls in an interview, his first time discussing the health issue publicly, and I'm scared shitless. A couple of hours and 7 incisions to his abdomen later, he came out of surgery to learn it had all been a scare, a tiny, harmless cyst. The news should have been comforting, but first time in Stern's adult life, he'd come face to face with his own mortality. And now, there was no turning back. In the 24 months since, he's found himself wondering often if he's done it all wrong. Despite fame and fortune unrivaled in his medium, Stern says he's a mountain of regret. He beats himself up over the father he couldn't be to those 3 girls, now grown and living elsewhere, and the husband he never was to their mother, Allison. Allison? I had Allison, Robin. Who finally left him in 1999. He can't read his first 2 best-selling books, Private Parts and Miss America, without cringing at his own narcissism, and he insists nearly every one of the interviews he conducted during his pre-satellite radio days makes him sick. I was so completely fucked up back then, he says, his head shaking with disgust on this morning in early April. I didn't know what was up with and what was down, and there was no room for anybody else on the planet. His more recent metamorphosis, the result of age, a healthy marriage, and intense therapy, has revealed sensitivities he didn't know he had. It's also sharpened his skills as an interviewer. Yeah, no, it didn't. So, so he had a cancer scare. By the way, I'm about to make another video about the rest of this article because it's very long, and I don't want to sit here and do an hour video. So I'm going to do this video, talk about this in the next subject in the next video. So this is why I believe that this retirement thing is probably true. So he has this scare, and then I'm 65, I got more money than anyone on the planet. Why am I still doing radio? And that's why I think the retirement after this contract is real. And now, Palestine? Now, and that's why it might leave a door open for O&A to possibly return in some capacity. Because as I said before, SiriusXM shan't be going into the future with their number one show being Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. So, I don't know, cancer scare, that's pretty crazy. But, dude, you're 65 and 6'5". You should be, kind of up there, money. Question your own mortality, you're at that age where you kind of gotta, we all do at that age, but especially when you're that age. But yeah, so Howard Stern had a cancer scare. And besides, in this article, they said he confided in Robin. I bet you Robin Quivers actually has a lot to do with this, him wanting to retire thing too. Because honestly, do you really think Robin wants to still do this? So he probably told her, and they probably talked, and he was like, it wasn't cancer, but do I really want to do this? And she's like, I've had fucking cancer how many times now? I don't want to do this. And let's be honest, he should just end the show now. And he already destroyed his legacy. Maybe he can go out at the time and then go to all the award things and be like that. You won't really, hopefully enough time will pass, he hopes, and he edited his old shows enough to where he might get some mainstream acceptance after retirement. But people like me and you really did the original Howard Stern show before an evolution, I'm doing quotations. Yeah, we have no respect, and we just kind of hope he does retire. But he did have a cancer scare, but it wasn't cancer, but that's why I think he is serious about retiring this time.